everybody. Brand new. Just got it today. The Pentaharp. I've never put my face on this. You've probably heard about these things. They're an alternate tuning of some sort. Probably says so right on the box. I haven't read it yet. Let's just try this. Okay. 3 octaves, a pentatonic scale on each one. So this is out, in, out, in. All right. So now what? Octaves? Could probably do something with that. You know, when you come home and you've had way too much to drink and it's dark and somebody's rearranged all the furniture. Give me about a week. Let me screw around with this and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm a couple of days in on my Pentaharp here. And a couple of little procedural things. I gapped the reeds, which made the bending a lot easier on the draw notes. The construction of it is much like a Special 20, which means it's kind of cheap. And on this particular E-harp, I wish it had been an octave lower. Right now, this thing, you know, once you get into the upper octaves of it, it's kind of hard to play. It puts me in mind of those wild-tuned harps, you know, where the upper octave, it has some cool notes, but they're hard for me to play. So it might take just more technique than I'm capable of to make it sound good. One thing I've discovered is that if you only play the draw notes, this E minor harp plays great in G, and if my theory is correct, E minor is the relative minor of G, so they're related in that way. What position that makes this, I have no idea. What are you going to call it? It's cross harp, I suppose, because you're not playing it in the key of the harp itself, but what position that may, I don't know. So anyway, only playing the draw notes sounds kind of cool. You can play the blow 2, the blow 5, and the blow 8, and those sound okay within the G blues scale. Anyway, so I'm going to play a backing track here and show you kind of what that sounds like. Again, this is day 2 or day 3 into this, so cut me some slack on this. That's all draw. That's the blow. See, I mistakenly played a blow note in there and it didn't fit. So you gotta train yourself just to focus on those draw notes. Anyway, let's try that backing track. some neat things that you can do here, and among them, for example, the root note, which would be the sixth blow, I think. Here on the pentaharp is a draw, so this is the standard diatonic. That's a draw note on the pen. Can't do that. You have to take a bunch of holes to get that to happen on a standard. You can shred those draw notes on these pentaharps. All right, that's progress for today. I'll check back in a couple of days. Maybe I'll find some new stuff. All right, just a quick interlude on playing this in the key that it was actually, that's stamped on the tin. So this is an E minor pentaharp, and it's designed to play in E minor. And in fact, on the box, it says the tonal layout is the blues scale, which is a minor pentatonic scale with the added blue note. Create expressive melodies and solos quickly and easily and never play a wrong note. Never. I'm not crazy about this in that key. You know, the previous stuff that I was playing, you know, was sort of the cross harp version of this, where most of it is in the draw, not playing in E minor, but we're playing in G on those things. This is this playing in E minor. You're kind of stuck with the scale that they give you. There are one or two minor bends that are available, but that added blue note, that kind of trips you up here. I'm going to play a little bit of a backing track, and you'll see what I mean. It's kind of, I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, I've been playing this thing for about a week now, and just some final thoughts. Playing it straight, so an E minor harp, playing it in E minor is like having a piano with 3 sets of 8 keys in different octaves. And once you are through playing those 8 notes, to make things interesting, really the only thing that you can do is switch up the order in which you play them or switch to a different octave. But at the end of the day, it seems a little limiting to me. All right, but playing it cross harp, on the other hand, allows you some cool note combinations, particularly for lead lines. You can do some 1-4-5 stuff, and I'm going to try that now, although I'm probably going to screw it up because the notes are different than I'm used to. You can do it, and I think think if you started learning how to play it on this, as opposed to a normal diatonic, which I think this one's upside down, it'd be, you know, it's more intuitive for me, but I've been playing this for 40 years, and this I've been playing for 7 days. But it can be done. If you started with this, I'm sure it would become intuitive in a real big hurry. And then you could do some cool stuff. The one thing, though, that I would say is because it's not set up for chords, these originally, the diatonics were originally set up with chords for the oom-pa-pa stuff. Yeah. And because they have chords, you can do some comping. If you're playing in a band and you're not just doing solo lines, you can comp behind the band using the chords on your diatonic harmonica. Other videos for that, I'm not going to demo any of that now. This is not set up with chords, right? It's just, it's some sort of broken calliope, right? And so instead of chords, if you're going to be comping, you're left with single notes or octaves. And octaves technically are an interval and not a chord, right? So I don't think it's going to sound that great behind a band if you're not, in fact, soloing while you're playing this. I could be wrong, but that is my impression. You can do the 1-4-5 stuff on single notes, right? That's just going to sound weird playing behind a band, so you might as well just stand there and dance or play the tambourine or something. Not so the standard diatonic. You can comp behind the band. Anyway, feel free to prove me wrong. Submit your own videos and show me how you're comping on a pentaharp. So anyway, as a solo instrument, I think it's got some hot options in crossharp. Playing it straight, I think it's limiting. Playing it in a band environment where you're not always the soloist, I think you either have to put it down or you're going to have to teach me something that I couldn't figure out on this thing over the course of the last 7 days. Totally a possibility. I think I will keep this in my gig bag, though. If they're playing something in G and I want to do something weird and different, I think I might pull this out and wail a little bit on it. So it's not a complete loss as far as I'm concerned. I invite you to make your own decisions. Buy one, mess around with it, especially if you're a beginner, if you're an old dog trying to learn new tricks. This is kind of daunting. But anyway, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I'm going to leave you with the good, the bad, and the pentaharp.